You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Johnson.
The AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California. Presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AFTERBUZZ TV's Intelligence After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Intelligence After Show.
We're gonna have a dance party right now.
Oh, shoot.
Yo guys, what's up? Welcome to AFTERBUZZ TV, your one and only spot for after show recaps. I'm your host, Ryan Hooks. We're jamming out today. Great music. Joining me on the panel today, as always, Mr. Lem Gonsalvez.
How's everybody doing? What's going on?
And if you're enjoying this beautiful song, you're gonna enjoy this beautiful face and voice even more. Octavius Johnson.
Hey, how's it going?
The singer of this song, the star of this week's episode.
Oh my gosh.
Dude, we're gonna blow your mind with After Show TV and Talk. Coming up right now.
It's going down.
We gotta let it finish. Let it finish.
There we go. It's called I Don't Want to Go.
I heard the runs.
Let those runs hang out.
Oh man,
The runs
yeah,
are
we did a
fan-
little T-Pain in there. I don't know if you heard that, but if you didn't hear it,
Yeah.
YouTube it.
We're just YouTube
I
it.
Don't Want to
You
Go.
can check
Octavius
out
J. Johnson.
I don't want to go. Octavius J. Johnson on YouTube. You can hear the whole song.
That's my favorite single out of the 3 that I have so far. So
Word.
yeah,
If you want to hear all 3 of the singles, you can check them out on YouTube.
YouTube. Octavius J. Johnson. Just type it in. Songs will come up.
So
Ray Donovan to come up. Intelligence to come up.
everything. Octavius,
Everything.
thanks for being here today.
Apple. I'm actually.
We appreciate your time.
Thanks so much
Coming
for having
in,
me, man.
hanging out,
Yeah.
talking about intelligence with us.
Yeah, thanks,
talking about
man.
your episode.
Thank you.
I'm glad we finally got to it. We've been plugging you
Yeah.
like 3 different times.
It's like
I got all
we've been
excited.
wishing. Like, oh, it's on. No, it's not.
Well, because
Oh,
we originally,
yeah.
like I said, we thought your episode was episode 8.
Right.
Yep.
And
It was.
during episode 7, I was
was.
like, my prediction for next week is Octavius is going to show up
Right.
finally.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then it was a different episode.
No.
I know. It was a little falling out. We don't know what happened. I actually talked to Michael, too, Michael Seitzman. It just got weird. Something happened.
Did they
It was,
rearrange the episodes? Like, did they,
don't-
as they were filmed? Because we were kind of predicting that as well.
It must have been in scheduling to air them, but not, when I, signed the contract up,
Right.
blah, blah, blah.
Right.
I was there for 108, but, they must have just wanted to air them differently.
And that happens, I think, a lot of times
Yeah.
with shows anymore now where they write them in a certain order, but then they say, you know what, this fits a little bit better
Yeah,
here.
exactly.
And for understanding of characters or development of characters, we need these things to happen first, even though they happened in later episodes. And that happens frequently,
Yeah,
I think.
it's not a bad thing.
So, no,
Yeah.
as long as it flows right, it's
Yeah,
fine.
man.
Exactly.
Those
So-
fans are loving it, too, man.
Dude, this was a good episode.
Yeah.
It was.
That's what,
It
Lem,
was
what did you
fun.
think? 'Cause I know you up and down sometimes with the episodes. And
Yeah, I did like this episode, not because Octavius is here, but I was excited because I thought, and I think in some of the previous episodes, I've been really starting to like them simply because I think they've been branching out. And I don't know if that was particular, like we were just saying about them, filming out of order, or showing them out of order. But I like the way they're progressing with the characters. They've gotten some really different type of characters, and I think even with your episode, this genius, we're going to talk about it, but this genius person that's doing it, it's kind of out of the norm spectrum. But I thought it was good. I thought it was a great episode. I thought it was good characters in the episode, and even the moments that they had, the touching moments were good in the middle of all that. So yeah, I liked it. I liked it, Ryan. I liked
That's
it.
your hook right there. There's the touching
Well,
love moment.
Of course,
Remember?
of course.
That's our thing, actually.
It is
That's
our
what
thing.
They're
gets
sitting
me.
close
because
together.
we're brothers.
That's
Right.
right. Of course.
Yeah, Lem's thing has always been shows with touching moments, hugging it out, whatever.
Right.
Those are the ones that he really gets into. And I like when there's the action stuff, but I do like, as you said, the more the show progresses, the more we're getting more and more of each and every character.
Yeah.
Right.
Which I like seeing. As much as I like just seeing Riley and Vaughn all the time, I like it when I get, Nelson and Michael Ratty and Lillian and everyone else showing up and all that stuff. So Jameson, by the way, not Michael Ratty.
Right.
That's his real name, not his character name.
Yeah.
Right.
I like when all these guys show up and have a little bit more to say.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
especially Nelson.
Speaking of Nelson, and I know we're gonna. It's not on our board.
It's on the board. Nelson's on the board.
Oh, it isn't. Oh, okay. I didn't.
Dude,
see
Nelson
it.
is always on the board.
It
for
is always on the
topics.
boards. But he had. I wrote him. He had some really lines this episode.
Dude, he had
some
jokes.
Yeah.
He had jokes for days. I'm like, this dude is a comedian.
Okay, you got a chip in your brain. You're
Right.
amazing.
Right.
That
I
was
love
my
it.
favorite one.
I love it.
I wrote that one down.
Yeah. No, he was great. He was great. I'm falling in love.
You're falling in love?
I'm almost there.
Dude, I've been in love.
I know you've been in love.
So get on the Nelson train. So here's a joke for you. 3 Ukrainians walk into a bar. Dun, dun. That was all. That was like that was a setup for what's happening first.
Oh, okay.
Because the show starts off with 2 Ukrainian brothers,
right,
in prison, whose names we don't get, but as we later find out, are Dominic and Torben. One is in prison. The other is saying we're gonna get him out. We've got a plan. It's in place. Get ready. They cut away to a blackout. Dude, when you saw the map, it showed LA and it showed California and it showed a rolling blackout across the country. When they showed the map from a wider scale, did you think that it was like a whole country blackout, or did you realize it was centralized?
I couldn't really tell. You know, when I first saw it, I saw when they said LA, and I did recognize that portion, but when it spanned out further, I didn't really get that. I don't know if you saw that, but I couldn't tell. Like,
to me, because they started off in San Bernardino at the prison, and then they showed LA and the blackout, and to me, it looked like when they showed the second map, that was like the United States. So I wrote down worldwide blackout, and then I was like, oh wait, no, it's only centralized to the West Coast.
Gotcha.
So I got a little confused by that, but that's cool, because we got this blackout now, and we have our dilemma.
Yes.
We have our plot, if you will. These brothers, we found out in Cyber Command, have created this advanced cyber worm, which is causing these blackouts. But it's similar to something they've seen before. So we get Cortez.
Yes.
Cortez is basically who they're blaming this on. He's done this times before. And we introduced the name of the episode here, episode 11, the Gray Hat, because Dr. Cassidy tells us this is a Gray Hat scheme. What he does is he releases these worms, then he blackmails the companies and says, hey, I'll make them go away if you give me money. Why not, right?
Yeah.
Great idea. I wish I could do that. I wish I was a boy genius. So, how old did they make you in this episode?
15.
15?
15.
Yeah, because I thought I saw the pull-up of your birthday of 99, and I was like, no, wait, that can't be right, because he said he has a Porsche.
Hey, well.
I mean, what do you just sit in it?
No one said he drives illegally. I mean, legally. So.
Touche, sir.
So,
well, technically, he was all illegal. Everything that he had stole pretty
everything's
much.
illegal. But,
Right.
No, he worked hard for it.
He worked very hard.
He worked
for
hard
it,
to
so,
steal it.
That's fine.
Okay.
I'm cool with that. I'm on board.
Oh.
So I want to ask real quick. I loved your apartment. Where was that at?
Thank you so much. Downtown LA.
Like where downtown? Do you remember?
The streets are you talking about? I mean,
No. Like when you were in the actual apartment, you had that awesome view and you were sitting on the porch and they were talking to you. Like after they busted in and the Ukrainian tried to kill you and they killed him.
You know what? We were in the central of downtown LA. I saw the stadium.
Okay.
Saw everything.
I know, it was great view,
So
great
I just
apartment.
don't know,
Right.
you know, where exactly, but it was downtown.
I might become a cyber criminal and get a place like that myself.
I was thinking about it.
Why not?
Yeah.
You should.
Do you know anybody that can help us out with a computer?
Troy.
Yeah, Troy can hook us up and see what's up. So yeah, so it's cool that we learn about the Gray Hat scheme and that this has been done before and used to blackmail people, and they're trying to figure out like maybe how the blackout started, where it came from. They figured that it's a centralized location based on where the blackout was and the power. They figured out that it's LA. So they're going to LA. Let's do this. While they're on the plane, they start talking about potential reasonings for how it's working or trying to figure things out. Because I feel like in the show, we figure so much stuff out in the first 10 minutes.
Oh, there's a lot.
There's always just like a smash of information that comes at you in the first 10 minutes about what's going on, who's doing it, and where it's going to happen, and where everything's going to go down, basically.
And I want to say I do like that simply because it gets me immediately invested.
You get hooked right away.
What's going to happen?
Because you get enough information that you're like, okay, cool, yeah, and you get excited about what's going to happen in the next 40 minutes.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's a good thing I think as well, because you're getting the who, the what, the when, and then we solve it. You know, and that gets us rolling. So he makes the comment though that if he's a computer hacker, he's probably still online. If he's not online, then what's he doing? So they figure out who's still online in LA. It's centralized. Who's got a connection over 45 megabits? You know, who's not government or hospitals or police or fire stations? They find you.
Yeah. She said, look for the light.
Done. Follow
And they
the
found
worms.
me.
But they didn't know it was him yet. They thought it was somebody else.
Oh, yeah. They didn't think he'd be so young
Exactly.
and
Thanks.
good looking.
Right.
And definitely good looking.
Yeah.
So in preparation for like the different scenes and stuff, did you have anything that you did, you know,
To prepare for
yeah,
it? Yeah, man, these words that I wasn't aware of before. And, you know, didn't know, I started defining them just so that I can know what I'm saying, and you know, learning a little bit about hacking. You know, learning all I can about the show. It was my first guest star on the show, so
Yeah.
learning all about the actors, the producers. You know. So.
Do you, I mean, this character, is this, like, are you, like, in real life, are you a computer person? Do you like computers? Is that something that you, like, do in your spare time?
I do.
Or no?
Oh, I love computers.
You do?
Apple. I love Apple. So
Okay.
I'm a fan of Apple, and I just love the internet. You know, I am actually good with computers.
Okay.
Not as good as Troy is.
Right.
And I can't hack.
Well,
I don't
no
know
one is
how
good
to
as
hack.
Troy is.
No one is good as
No.
Right,
Yeah.
because he's the
But,
man.
not even Nelson.
Right.
I'm sorry, bro.
No, dude, it's cool. I like that. I
sorry.
told you, I sent out a Twitter message earlier this week in promotion for the show, and I was like, can Octavius Johnson take down Nelson?
Right.
Like, and that was the first message I sent out about this week's episode. So
Speaking of, and I love
Did you
that,
see their
speaking of Nelson,
quarrels?
yeah, huh?
Did you see their quarrels every once in a while?
yeah,
Yeah.
I loved their back and forth because Nelson's like kept calling him boy,
Right.
and he kept being like, oh,
He
well,
doesn't know everything.
Right.
He doesn't know.
Yeah.
I love when he told him about using the Shift H9
Yeah.
key or whatever.
Pound HC.
Or Pound HC, that was
Yeah.
it. And he's like, why would I do that? That only shows new stuff.
Right.
Dude, I'm totally stealing that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it worked.
Right, and it told,
Yeah.
the best part I think was when
Yeah.
you first met him, and he's like, "No, I'm a fan." He's like, "You want an autograph?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that was good.
Maybe.
And he called him the IT guy.
Yeah.
He's like, you can use
You're
your
the
IT?
IT?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're the IT. He's like, excuse me. No, that was good.
Yeah.
I
There
like
was
that
there was a lot of
interaction.
good banter back and
There
forth.
was.
We're getting way ahead of ourselves because I wrote Nelson and Troy's relationship on the board later down the road for things to talk about. We still got to talk about the worm.
We do.
So they figured out that this worm that they have introduced was the same as what you have used previously in some other scams, and they assume that it's you. That's why they try to find you. They call you Cortez. They killed the Ukrainian who busts in, who's trying to kill you because we know you're the only one that can stop it. You offer to help him. That was nice of you. For 20 G's,
man,
you'll give them a
right.
20 G's, you give them the government
patriotic discount.
Right.
Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah, I like that. I wrote that down, even patriotic discount. So that you would for reals help him out.
For reals.
For reals.
Big word.
But they arrest you, bring you in.
Yep.
And this is where we get
Forced me to help them, actually. It
Yeah.
seems like it.
They are giving you incentive to help by not putting you in jail. That's what we're looking for. So the plot is now being unfolded as the show progresses because the brother comes out, Dominic, and says, here is what Torben rather comes out and says, here's what we're doing. We are this group, the Navisvit Revolution, and they are the NSR. If you want to, use your code, your 3-letter code that we like to use so much.
Acronyms.
There you go. That's what I'm
Yeah.
looking for. Acronyms. And basically that they are using this to target a nuclear facility in San Giacomo. It will cause a meltdown of the power plant,
yeah.
and it will cause nuclear fallout. And he actually later in the episode compares it to Chernobyl. As we get a little backstory on the people involved, they had family involved in Chernobyl. They grew up in those cities.
Right.
So they are basically wanting to redeem their country and also attack doing the same thing because he later says, I'm going to make it noticeable. Because they don't want people to not forget what happened, and they want people to realize that how serious it was.
Right.
So I guess we're going to find out what happens. So I did like the line in the episode then as well where he's talking about how smart you are. Because clearly you're smarter than he is.
Which line was that? Because they said a lot.
They said a lot of stuff. So when he's like talking about you and your abilities, because they're like, oh no, he's got a gift. He's like, no, he's more than that. And he said, where I see a computer and code, you just see code. Like you don't see a computer anymore.
Yeah,
You're just
Wow.
code. So
It's fun to play that, man. It was really fun.
Yeah, tell me about that.
To seem, I mean, I consider myself pretty well-rounded. I mean, but not that intellectual. I mean, so good grammatically, but when it comes to technology and science and all of that, it was so fun to learn. Routing algorithm, all these words, but just to be able to seem like this on camera, it's fun. That's why I love acting. But.
And your character was pretty cocky too.
yeah, that was a good. I was just about to say that was a good
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so he
really
wasn't
cut.
the most humble kid
Not at
ever.
all.
Yeah.
Not at all. Especially to be 15.
Yep.
There was some great arrogance that came across there,
Right.
especially again with the Nelson interactions, because that's would be your rival in this. But I did like then they later compared your abilities and your geniusness to Vaughn, because Vaughn has something that nobody else has, and that's some ability as well.
Yeah.
So, but you know what else we have that nobody else has?
What's that?
We have Maria Menounos.
We do.
Yeah. So, if you guys haven't heard, Maria Menounos has a great new show out called Chasing Maria.
Yes.
And it premiered last night on Oxygen. And I'm going to send it over to my friend Steven, who's in the booth, to tell me a little bit more about that.
Tuesdays on Oxygen.
I'm Maria Menounos, and my life can get a little crazy. I host Extra. I'm an actor, producer, dancer, wrestler, and a lot of other things. I live with Kevin, my boyfriend of 15 years. Do you really love me?
I would say that I'm in serious like.
And my parents. Yep, I just said I live with my parents.
You drive me crazy.
You drive me crazy. My parents want us to get married.
You both love each other. Get married.
Kevin and I don't. I am going to get married when I want to get married. I think I want kids. Kevin definitely doesn't want them now.
This is being pushed on to us.
And of course, my parents wanted them yesterday.
This year, you gotta have it.
And I have a house full of people counting on me financially. If I take my eye off the ball, everything can fall apart.
It doesn't matter what anybody else thinks or wants us to do. It's what we want to do.
Everyone thinks that they know what's best for me, but I'm really the only one. I have got to figure things out.
Chasing Maria Menounos is so new. Every Tuesday at 10, 9 Central, starting March 18, only on Oxygen.
There you have it, Maria Menounos, Chasing Maria on Oxygen. I watched the first episode last night, actually. It's really funny to see them at their house because Maria lives with her boyfriend, Kevin, and her parents, and their bodyguard, Joe, and all their dogs, and they're in this house, and everyone's just like on Maria the whole time, just like busting her the whole episode. It's really funny.
Nice.
I'm looking forward to episode 2. They're going to have some stuff about AfterBuzz on there.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that as well.
So Steven, our good friend, will be in there.
Yeah.
Representing the AfterBuzz TV family here.
Represent.
So it's cool. Check it out. Maria Menounos' show, Chasing Maria, is on Tuesdays, 10 p.m. on Oxygen.
Yes, sir.
Back to the episode. So as the episode progresses, Troy and Vaughn go out to have a little heart-to-heart. And Vaughn's like, "Hey, dude, what's your deal? Like, I'm not buying what you're selling. Basically, it's what the vibe you're getting out because you're just cool and collected and you got your thing. You know what you're doing. You're getting your money. You don't care." But he calls you out on some stuff, and we introduced your brother Drew. Found out that you had a brother, and you guys were separated at a young age. You were 5, he was 13.
We were orphans.
You were orphans. Parents were killed, and you were sent off to a family because you were adopted. That didn't last very long, apparently, because you were now on your own in a sweet apartment.
Yeah.
How did you sign the lease for that apartment? Let me ask that.
Oh, man. Oh, he has his ways. He's a hacker, man.
He changed some information in the system?
Right.
Of course.
So
he actually created a fake parent. He adopted himself.
To a parent, yeah, the parent
Into adoption.
that was born in 1901.
It was funny because when saw that, I didn't even think of something like one thing the show brought for me is the things that your character hacked were things that I wouldn't even imagine, like hacking into an adoption situation, the computer system to create a fake parent to be adopted so you can basically be on your own.
Wow.
I thought that was,
genius.
Let's
be cliche and say it.
I was not going to say it, but you said it for me. But yeah, I thought it was cool. And even with the car situation, after he talks to him and then he's in the car, and I kind of figured something was up because I was like, he's putting him in a car. The car is electric. Guess what? So, but it was interesting, like to see different things being hacked that normally you wouldn't see.
Yeah.
You know, in normal business outside of like an actual technical computer system.
Right, and Vaughn calls him on it too because the reason he finds out about Drew is the amount of time you've spent looking at pictures of your brother and his family and his kid online, and that's how that's the reason he brings it up, and that's why the whole episode then starts revolving about your past relationship and why you're doing what you're doing, and we're getting that emotional level that you love so much.
Speaking of emotion, I have a question for you. Do you think your character saw Gabriel as like a father figure? Because you see in that heart-to-heart talk, and there's another moment kind of in the middle of the episode, and then of course what happens at the end, which we'll get to. Do you think he saw him as that, or do you think Gabriel saw him as maybe a son type situation?
I think Gabriel saw. Well, he said it at the end. He's a friendship. If Troy saw any fatherly figure, he didn't want to accept it because his parents aren't around, so that would be really hard to accept, in my opinion. So that's why he called him Dr. Phil in a mocking way, and he just didn't want that those questions being asked about his personal life. So
mutual respect, I think, is definitely because they both have talents and abilities beyond that of what normal people do. So with those talents and abilities, they they're on a different level than everyone else, so they kind of bond on that aspect, I think.
Exactly.
And that's where that friendship comes out. So we find out that the worm then, Dr. Cassidy comes up with this idea that the worm has some kind of stopping mechanism, if you will, that can allow it to be stopped. And they figure out that it's a biometric code that has been implanted in the worm. And they figure out that it's a heartbeat because they look at the code. I like that a lot of times in this episode they showed various pictures of code being put on the screen, but then you could see images in the code, which were like underlaid, so it looked like the image.
I remember filming that. They actually had it on the phone. All this stuff is like, you know, planned out. They on the iPhone where they monitored the heartbeat. It actually wasn't doing it, but you know, it had it on the screen. Yeah, it's just amazing to see that, you know.
I think there's apps for that you can get now where you can just put your thumbprints to get your heart rate on there. Because I mean, they even have that if you go to the gym. Most of the treadmills now have heart rate monitors built in where you just put your hands on them.
That's true.
And they feel the pulse of your heartbeat in the metal, and then it just registers your heartbeat for you.
Wow.
So I would definitely think there's a smartphone app for that.
Oh, sure.
You know where you can find out a smartphone app for that?
I know Apple has.
You think?
iTunes?
I think
so.
iTunes. Dude, you could go to iTunes.
Lucky guess.
Dude, look at that. That was a good one, wasn't it?
It was.
You can go to iTunes. You can check out sweet apps, but you can also check out AfterBuzz TV's after shows. So, guys, thanks for tuning in. We appreciate you being here.
We do appreciate it.
We appreciate Octavius being here as well.
We appreciate him as well.
But thank you guys, because you make us who we are. So you can go to AfterBuzz TV's network on iTunes, on YouTube, but mostly iTunes. You can download our shows. I think we're at like 75 shows now.
Something like that, yeah.
There's always new shows coming up. I'm starting a new one next month.
How many countries are we in?
Dude, I think we're in over 100 countries.
What?
No.
Dude, I get Snapchats sometimes from people in Australia.
That's crazy.
Wow.
And like I got this one girl in Germany. Like it's just crazy that we're all over the world. And we're like 27 million subscribers and growing.
It's amazing.
Gosh, it's outrageous.
27 million.
It's amazing.
So here's what we can do though to help us out, because we're here to help you out. You can go on the show, leave us a comment, give us a 5-star rating, tell us what you think, tell your friends, check it out. We've got tons of shows. Whatever you like, we got it. If not, send me a message. We'll get it.
We will get it.
We will get it.
Ryan will get it.
Dude, I will make it happen. I know a guy who knows a guy. I know a Ukrainian guy that will bust the kneecap at AfterBuzz TV, and he will make that show happen. So let us know what you guys think, because we love hearing from you. I actually had another show I do. I had a guy send me an email who was like a professional historian about pirates.
Really?
And he like emailed me all this information because he's like, oh, I watched the show and I love it. So like we love hearing from you. Like, I emailed him for like a week. So send me messages. I want to know what you think about computer hacking. I'm down.
Down for the
guys, check it out.
Check it out.
Dude, let's move on.
Let's do it.
Let's talk about the stolen car.
Yes.
Because as you find out after the heart-to-heart, we lock him in a car.
Right. Yep. And he's gone.
Oh, yeah. I knew that was going to happen immediately.
I mean, it was, yeah.
That was so predictable.
Right.
Gosh. Vaughn, you and your silly
Come
ways.
on, what's wrong with you?
I mean, I feel like Vaughn could hack a car, because as we find out in this episode, he can hack an airplane.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, that was pretty gangster.
That was gangster.
That was gangster.
So I got a question then, Octavius.
Was it West Side Gangster? Or,
maybe Lower East Side.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, they were at the Burbank airport.
Oh, okay. So that's like north.
Okay.
What is that? Northwest.
Yeah, northeast.
Something like that. Yeah.
I think Burbank's northeast from us.
Right. There we go. Northeast side.
So did you think, Octavius, that your character throughout the episode figured out Vaughn and what he was? Because there were a lot of moments.
They
never clarified.
They never clarified it, but no. I think he's wondering. He's still wondering, and he thinks that. No, yes, I do. I do think so.
You think he figured it out?
Yeah, when the plane just stops out of nowhere. I mean, he knows. Of course, we'll have to explain that in another episode when Troy's back. But
I think season 2, we've got a recurring role.
Troy's back. What?
Well,
is this a spoiler? What are we doing here?
It's no spoiler, but we're just we're working on it.
Oh, okay.
We are hoping and negotiating.
Yeah, okay.
See, I'm involved in the negotiation. If you didn't know,
right?
Season 2, recurring role for Troy. That's what we're shooting for right now.
Well, you did. Who predicted? Was that you that predicted that last week's episode that he was going to end up staying and being part of the agency?
Oh man,
was that you?
I did.
Because when I saw that at the end, I was like,
because they in the preview for the episode they talked about computer hacking. I was like, dude, I think next week we could see a recurring role for Octavius. Like that, like the way that it was set up and your genius and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's a great prediction.
It's
you're
down for that, aren't you?
I mean, it's talked about a lot.
Awesome. That would be a good addition to Cyber Command.
That would be.
So,
that would be.
Thank you guys.
Yeah,
thank you guys.
You've got our vote of confidence.
Yeah.
We'll be sure to tweet that out later.
Steven wants it too.
It was so fun to play though. You know.
Yeah.
I had a great time. John's great. I'm sorry, John. Josh.
Josh
I'm thinking
Holloway.
about John Voight. I don't know
Yeah.
why.
You're on the
Josh-
wrong show.
Yeah, right. Josh is great. Megan. Oh, I worked with them, and then PJ. Just sweet people and just very talented. So
We've been dreaming about Megan for weeks, so.
Oh, Megan.
Sometimes I dream about PJ too. In a totally platonic, cool hangout joke kind of way.
Right.
uncomfortable.
Right.
In an awkward sort of way.
That's why he's sitting over there.
Yeah, then I'm over here by myself on the side of the table.
right.
So you stole the car, and you go to see your friend.
You want to know how?
Yeah, actually.
It was a cut scene. I guess we could talk about.
Yeah,
scenes that were
yeah,
cut.
for sure.
You know,
That
they
was-
didn't show it. I was like, oh, cool. I actually got to drove the car while filming, but if we kept the scene, if they kept the scene, you would have saw that I had a special device around my neck,
Like
It
a
was
necklace?
USB.
Okay.
You know, so he kind of used that to do his magic.
Plug it in and hacked it off.
Yeah.
Were there other scenes that were cut from the episode that you were involved in?
That's the only one I could think of. Yeah, that's the only one I remember.
And that
I
happens.
noticed.
You know, we have directors and stuff on the show a lot, and we talk about things that get chopped down, and like where they have these great concepts and ideas, but then they don't make it through the final cut
Yeah,
because
right.
you know, obviously time is the biggest thing, and the show has to be put out in an hour. So they make great DVD editions.
Oh, cool.
So something to look forward to on that.
Nice.
The season one
yeah.
DVDs are out. You can get that
Intelligence.
extended episode
Exactly.
with the USB port.
USB keychain.
But you go to see your friend Danny.
Yep.
Because you recognize when you're looking at the code that Danny actually stole it because he used a recurring pattern.
Well, he copied. He tried to copy what my worm exactly was, and he sold it to the Ukrainian terrorist, and that's why they're after us now. So they tracked down where he was.
Because Danny didn't
apparently-
ask enough questions.
Yeah.
So,
And
and
they
then
could make an easy buck.
well, I mean, why not? You know.
Yeah.
But he apparently didn't ask enough questions because the terrorist shows up and shoots him.
Right. Yeah.
Talk about your shortest cameo ever. the terrorist with guns with no lines had more lines and action.
Right.
It's okay. So he kills Danny, and then Octavius, your character Troy, runs and hides.
Great scene.
And they're in
That
there.
was fun.
That
First
was-
time being shot at. So.
Really?
Yep.
Well, you got shot at, and there was an explosion in this episode too.
It was. I was
Did you-
there too, and that explosion was real.
I was about to
Really?
ask you.
Yeah, it
I
was
was going to
real.
ask you more about it when we got to that point.
Okay.
So let's not get too far ahead of ourselves.
Yeah. I will say, since we're on that though, I do like how they integrated your boy Nelson.
The sonar. That was the very next thing I was about to say.
I thought that was pretty dope. How they, because I was wondering when he introduced it, you know,
Why?
and he's I was like, okay,
yeah,
it's a new
what is
gadget.
this for? Yep,
Yeah,
yep.
when they were in the plane and he like moves her over. So I thought it was dope that it was
Yeah.
like used
Yep.
and it was used in a good
That
way.
was cool, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was.
I was actually, the thing that I wrote down is like, when did he add this feature? Like,
Right.
how did he upgrade to this new sonar technology that he added?
You talking about into Gabriel?
Yeah, into Gabriel.
Oh.
Like, how was it uploaded to Gabriel so
Right.
that he could suddenly use it? But it was cool. He used it to scan through the walls. He found you, found the terrorist. Then he shot the terrorist through the wall.
Right.
Yep.
Which that part was really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's
I
like
did,
he's under the desk, and you see your, image under the desk.
Panicking.
Right.
you weren't panicking. You were protecting
Yeah.
yourself.
Okay. Thanks. Thanks.
We
Make
need
me look
you.
good.
We need you to finish the episode. So you were thinking about all the people that could potentially get killed. That's what you were doing. You weren't hiding or being afraid.
Psychic.
Yeah.
He knows.
I'm just calling it like I see
Yeah.
it,
And you're
And-
seeing it right.
and I'm seeing it the right way,
Exactly.
the best way possible.
Right. Come on.
But we find out though that you needed Danny to find out where we have quote unquote the mothership,
Yep.
which is a computer that initially launched the worm, because that's the computer that you need to shut off this worm so that it doesn't hit the nuclear power plant, that doesn't cause the meltdown, doesn't cause the fallout, and we don't have it. Now that Danny's dead, we lost all possible connection to it. But
Apparently, he sold the mothership. It looks. How they? Well, I guess they stole it when they shot him. So,
or if they had it, if he went and did it for them originally, maybe he said, "Hey, we'll pay you, come do this at our thing," and then leave. I mean, there's a lot of potential that could have happened with that we don't need to talk about.
Trick question. I'm sorry.
Trick question. No, my answer to that is the Ukrainians hired him. He came to them, did his work, and left. Released it on their computer.
Danny?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. The Ukrainians hired Danny. Yes, that's what I'm saying, and that's what I'm calling
Boom,
it.
done.
But the plot just thickened.
He did.
Because not only do we find out that there's talks of evacuation from the plant area because of the fallout, we also find out that there's a little shenanigans going on.
Yeah. Now, I got a question. Do you think
Oh.
that earlier, because that kind of came up early, the shenanigans we were talking about, with his brother and his brother's wife, the Ukrainian. So did you think that that was going to play in later into the, the reason why they showed that? Do you think that was? Did you think that was going to come up later?
I actually was just about to ask that question. So when we find out that Torben and Eliana are having a relationship,
right,
and Torben tells them about their brother Mitya, and that he had bad lungs and bad eyes from this fallout, and basically was a victim of it, and this is part of the reason he's doing this, and he wants it to be people to be aware, so it's not easy to turn away.
Right.
My initial thought right then and there was that Eliana was going to help in some way. Help Cyber Command, that she was going to turn against him.
Oh, really?
Yes, because the way she was like, why do you want more people to be like your brother then? And the way he like replied to her, I felt like there was almost like some distension to her and made her feel alienated, and that she was going to help in some way. That was
she was going to turn.
That basically. She was going to turn and like basically sell them out.
Gotcha.
Someone reads the subtitles. No, I'm joking.
No, there wasn't anything subtitled about the sellout. I just like the way that it was portrayed to me, like emotionally, from him and her perspective. I just felt like that was
right.
I
didn't think that, but I did think something was, because I was like, why would they show it? Like there had to be some significance for them showing their relationship on the side. That's his brother's wife, obviously. Why would you be showing that there's some kind of dissension going on? So when they came up, and it wasn't until, I don't know where there yet, but when they came and it was the showdown, so you speak, where you have the mothership, okay, we're going to do the trade, and then he does what he does, which we'll talk about in a second.
We're close.
Then it happened. So anyway, carrying on.
No, it's cool, and I agree. I wasn't sure. I knew that was leading to something.
Right.
My initial thought was that she was going to do something to, Eliana was going to do something to sell out either her brother or help her husband in a way that was different than what we would expect. But I liked what we got even better.
That would have made me. Can I see her?
Yeah, go ahead.
That maybe Ariana would have just wanted to, leave the situation.
Yeah, something
secretly. Something like that. That's a prediction.
Right.
Just she's something that made it weird, basically. And that was why I was thinking that something's gonna happen. But we find out then Weatherly is getting involved, and he doesn't want to release Dominic because that's what he's been demanded.
Right.
That. His brother Torben says, listen, we will stop this worm if you release Dominic, give him back to us.
Right.
But they've been talks with Russia, and they're extraditing him to Russia, and they said no. And it's just, listen, it's either nuclear fallout or piss off Russia.
Right.
Which is funny to me because here we are, some 40 years later from anything related to Russia, and Russians and Ukrainians and all that are still painted as terrorists, and like, I don't know, it's just funny to me.
I'm so glad you said that, because earlier I was thinking that, I was like, why would they choose this particular group of people? And I think it's because what you were just saying, like, it's been kind of the going back to Rocky.
Going to Rocky 4.
Bam.
Even before then,
I was just going to say that. Yeah, just going back to Rocky and like the whole Russian, it's like they've been pegged as these super terrorists that anytime we need a terrorist in like a movie or a show or whatever, it's like, go to the Russians,
when in doubt, make them Russian.
Right, exactly, because of our history. And so I thought it was interesting that they did that in this episode.
So I have a really off-the-wall thought in relation to things that are going on in the world right now.
Right.
So if you don't know or follow the news, right now in Ukraine, there's a big issue where Russia is actually coming in and trying to take some land from the Ukraine. And there's a lot with politics. The Ukrainian president has fled, and there's a new person in command.
Right.
And a lot with Putin. Not the point. Do you think potentially that the rearranging of this episode was because this has sort of cooled down in the news? Because 4 weeks ago, if this episode would have aired and we're talking about Ukrainian terrorists with all this issue that's happening in Russia and Ukraine, that could have been an involvement in what's going on.
Oh man, wow.
I don't know. What do you feel about
I'm just throwing that from left field because I just thought about it.
That's like way left field, but that's a good point. Because I think we know that there's been some rearrangement. We have it.
So your question again, just to make it clear, I think.
So basically, I'm questioning: is the reason that this episode was potentially showed at a later date is because now the things with Ukraine and Russia have sort of died down in the news?
Yeah. I mean, this isn't a fact. I don't know, but my guess would be it'd probably be safe politically to do something like that. You don't want to bring any negative perspectives about your shows during the time in Ukraine that this is going on. So, sure.
I mean, that's a good reason. And with a lot of political issues and stuff that's happened in the world, so think about even back when the World Trade Centers were attacked. And there was a bunch of movies that were scheduled to come out. They didn't release those movies because of the things that the movies talked about that were implications of similar attacks. They were too close to home and too close to reality. So, I mean, that's a good thing that could have potentially happened. They said, you know what, let's wait for this because this is too close to reality right now.
I mean, still, it's like 4 weeks later. It's not that long.
It's enough time that in the news it's sort of died down.
Okay.
And I think, too, people, I guess a lot of people don't realize that these things are taped. I mean, when did you tape that episode? How long ago?
It's been, that's why I'm like, you're asking me this question.
Right,
like,
exactly. It's been so long ago, right?
It's been
6 to 8 months.
Yeah. Whoa. No, not that
long ago? Okay.
Yeah, that's Ray Donovan. Wrong show. No, just a month or two ago. Yeah.
Okay, so probably when that happened, maybe it wasn't, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't an issue at that time.
Right, it wasn't relevant.
Exactly. But now that they're thinking of airing, they're like, oh, well, wait a second. So I'm with you on that. And I think that it happens in a lot of cases, like you said, when the movies came out. Even I remember something about Sex and the City because of their show when they would open, it had the two towers. And they had to somehow remove that out of the opening credits because it wasn't relevant anymore. So it's just interesting how that works.
And I know there was a lot of always fear of
alienating
people or like especially touching subjects that are very close to home like that. So yeah, I mean it's a possibility.
I'm not saying it's 3 months.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. I'm still on that question. I just want to be right.
You want to get
it's been longer than like a month though.
Yeah, I was saying like 3 or 4 5 months. Yeah.
Oh really?
It's been a minute.
I
mean, you were here. You were here earlier. It was episode 3,
right?
And we're in episode 11. So, I mean, that's 8 weeks right there. And you had already filmed at that point.
Filmed it?
Yeah, because we were talking about it, and you were talking about some stuff you couldn't talk about or giving us some information. So, I mean, that's 2 months for sure.
Okay.
So, anyway.
Ryan knows your schedule.
Dude, me and your publicist talk about you weekly. We get weekly updates, that kind of stuff. So
that's a little scary.
It's fine. You know what else is scary?
What's that?
Russian terrorists and nuclear fallout.
Back off the Russians.
Nuclear fallout is very scary.
So, it's fine because Lillian says, you know what, let's set up this exchange, let's make this happen, this is the right thing to do. But we find out that it's too late. Because those fearful bureaucrats have scheduled to move him a day early. He's already on the plane, and it's too late. They're leaving. But not if Vaughn and Riley have anything to say about it. Because they're on their way.
To save the day.
You guys get to sing, but I don't.
Did you can sing? Drop it.
No.
Get it.
You guys heard the song. Yo, Troy, he's a genius. What are you? M&M's. Oh, my shoe. I gotta tie it.
What? And he raps.
And then you can fly it.
Right.
But I don't buy it. Back to the show.
This guy.
This guy over here.
He's going places.
Right.
He's going places.
I'm on YouTube. You can find me out.
The wall. Anyway.
He's late. It's too late. They're not going to make it. The plane's about to take off.
Right.
Just not if you got Vaughn.
Exactly.
And his brain.
His brain just totally shuts down the plane, and we're good. We're rocking and rolling. They're going to give him 2 hours, make sure Dominic returns alive, and anything they can do to to prevent the fallout is what we need to do. So they set up this trade, but Lillian's a little bit scared because her idea is basically to put them in the fallout zone for the trade so that basically the brother doesn't backstab, so that Torben doesn't do anything that could be a little sketchy, doesn't back out of the deal. And Dr. C and Lillian are talking about it, but it's the right call.
Right.
It's a hard call to make, but it's still the right call. So as we move on, we get another moment alone talking about Vaughn, talking about Troy. And he's saying that your brother never stopped looking for you. That he knows for a fact that even though you were split apart and it was for the best, he never stopped looking for you. We don't know how he knows, but we know how he knows.
Well, yeah.
I mean, we know he's got the computer access, and that's all that goes down. So we get this exchange. We get this awesome gunfight. We get explosions.
Right.
And we get a stabbing.
Yes.
Yeah, did you see that coming?
I can't say that I saw that, no.
Like, usually I'm pretty good at predicting things that are going to happen on TV shows as I'm watching the episode. I did not see that coming.
I thought something was going, like, it wasn't going to be an even exchange, obviously.
Yeah, you didn't think it was going to be, like, smooth.
No, but I didn't get it that he was going to get stabbed.
Because we knew they were going to turn him back in anyway after they stopped the worm.
Right there in the open, too. Right there in the open.
Yeah, just nothing. Just right in the gut.
That's what sparked everything. That's what.
And I will say, we talked about your character's interaction with Nelson. There was a great line where he said, you want to knuckle it? you know.
Oh, yeah.
I love that
I
part.
love that. I love
You guys
that.
knuckling it now?
Yeah.
Is he trying to give you a high five?
He's like, oh, you
the
guys
kids are
knuckling.
doing?
Yeah, he was trying to be cool with
That's
you.
what the kids are doing?
Yeah, I thought that was dope.
Like,
that was dope.
No. Okay.
But we can't figure out how to stop the worm now that
Right.
they've destroyed the mothership with the grenade, which that was what I was talking about. That was awesome. Like I wondered if you were sitting there while they exploded that truck. Were you, did they use a grenade or did they use controlled explosives?
Oh man! Oh, so they what did they use, man? It was real.
Probably C4.
I think so.
Probably a controlled explosion with a box, a detonator,
Yeah.
as opposed to just throwing a grenade and running.
No, okay, so they didn't use a grenade.
No, I mean that's what
Okay.
in the show they actually threw a grenade in the truck as they drove by.
No,
but
they didn't use
yeah,
a grenade.
Definitely not.
They had their own technicalities. There.
They've got pyro guys for that.
There it is.
They had to film
Demolition and
crew,
all that stuff. They got to film it from certain angles and make sure they get it and it's
Oh, man.
controlled. But we figure out that we can stop the worm because we figure out the reason that the worm is going for, it hasn't found its target is because it's searching for the target. So why not build a new target? Get him a sweeter target. Is that what he said? Sweeter target.
Yes, he did actually.
Yeah, I love that line. I'm just saying. So he cyber renders for the first time this episode. This is something he does in every episode where he creates this cyber rendering, creates this. Oh, it's sexy to the worm. That's what it was. Yeah. After the explosion, after we figure out that the truck is destroyed and there's no guarantee they can stop it, but they're gonna try to create a virtual reactor.
nuclear reactor.
Yeah.
to
So why not? Done.
trick the worm.
So the one thing that I thought in this scene that could have done a little bit better, which I liked the scene, I liked the cyber reactor creation. It looked really cool. I felt like when the worm passed and then came back, I wish I would have waited just 2 seconds longer.
Oh, not happened so fast.
Yeah, it was like, oh, the worm went away. Like now what are we gonna do?
Right.
Crap, we're in trouble. Like, oh my gosh. Oh, the worm's
it's
back.
back.
Yeah. Give me one more minute to linger on the potential fallout and everything bad that's about to happen, and then bring it back.
But honestly, whether they stretch it out or not, you know that was going to happen.
Right. You know what's gonna happen.
You know there was a predictable moment.
But I still want to linger in my emotion for another 30 seconds.
For another 30 seconds.
Right. So, all good in LA, but the hammer's gonna fall.
Yes.
Troy's not going to prison, and his brother comes home.
Eating hamburgers.
Eating hamburgers for his final meal.
Yeah.
And everyone's together now. They're hugging it out.
Hugging it out.
I'm down for that. So that's what we got for the episode. So, Octavius, tell me a little bit about what you got going on. Because I know you got Ray Donovan right now. You're filming that.
Intelligence was great. We're hoping on the second season. It's looking good. You know, the fans are really supporting us. You know, we have a lot of fans just, saying, "Hey, renew Intelligence. It's a great show.
Yeah.
I'd love to be able to come back." It was really fun.
Yeah, that was. I'm predicting, man. Season 2, you're recurring.
I think it's a great prediction, and I think you're right on.
I think you're dead on that one, right?
So, Ray Donovan, I'm going back second season. So to be going back, it gets.
And you're filming that right now, right? You got a couple episodes under your belt.
Yeah, one so far. I go back for 205. I did 203. I'm off for 2 weeks, but I'm filming pilots for TBS. It's a Family Still Matters spinoff of the Urkel show.
I love that show.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So who's your character?
Do that. Not Urkel. So,
I was going to
I'll
ask.
tell you that. It's just a friend of the family and next generation kind of thing. It's a modernized, not the same.
What's the adopted one? Was it RJ? You could be RJ?
RJ.
He was the adopted one.
I could
hung
be
out.
him. I could be him.
You could be older version of him.
I could be him.
Yeah.
I could play
little troublemaker.
The cousin with the beard.
I'm a cool kid on there, and play some sports, that kind of thing.
Awesome.
So
Well, good luck with that.
it's more modernized, like I said, no Urkel thing, but the original cast will make some appearances.
Family shows are making a comeback right now. There's a lot of good comedy shows, family stuff coming back. So that's awesome to see. And what about your music? Because we heard your song at the beginning of the show.
Yes.
Got 3 singles out right now.
Yeah, I think I'll be doing some more on Ray Donovan.
Nice.
I don't know if original, but some of their music, just being able to showcase.
That's awesome.
My musical ability, not really writing the original music on the show, but we'll see where that takes me. And
were you was part of you getting that role because of your musical talent?
Yes.
Oh,
yes,
awesome.
I had to rap in the audition room.
Did you?
Yeah. So I wrote my own rap for the audition.
Okay.
Just I went all out. Yeah. So,
awesome.
But I'm on Twitter, guys.
Done.
Octavius J _ Oh Lord. That's me. So thank you guys for watching. Thanks for having me.
Dude, appreciate it. So quick news and gossip this week. Josh Holloway welcomed a new baby son, Hunter Lee.
Oh,
awesome.
man.
Him and his wife Jessica. They also have a 4-year-old, but Congrats to Josh Holloway.
That's cool.
Give me one quick prediction for next week, Lem. We find in the thing it's a 2-part finale coming up for episode 12 and 13. They're accusing Vaughn of murder, and we saw my girl Faye Kingsley. May Chin is back.
What? That's what you were getting
to. May Chin is back. I'm stoked.
Awesome.
So,
my only one prediction will say that there wasn't a lot of Vaughn and his Riley time. So I think there's going to be more. They're going to make up for it.
In the trailer, May Chin asks him, "Do you get lonely when they're in the cyber world?" And he says yes, as she's trying to seduce him. May Chin hook up?
Yeah,
maybe so.
Possibly.
Hey, Lem, tell the viewers where they can find you.
Well, you can find me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at The Poet Saint all day, every day.
And Octavius, tell them again where they can find information about you. Website, Twitter.
Yeah, Twitter. I'm on Twitter, OctaviusJJohnson.com. You can find me there, and then it has links to my Twitter, YouTube.
Yeah, your website, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks for tuning in and being here. You can find me at RyanHooks92 all day, every day. Got that one from you. On the Facebook, on the Twitter, on the Instagram, on the Snapchat. Guys, thanks for tuning in. Intelligence After Show. Thanks so much, Octavius, for being here.
Yeah, man, thank you so much.
We appreciate your
Hey,
time.
can I say something?
You may.
All day, every day.
All day, every day.
All day, every day.
AfterBuzz, one spot, stop. Catch you next time.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.